Parshas Pinchas and Parshas Matois, the Torah says that the Eibusha told Moshe Rabbeinu, "Nekoim es nikmas b'nei Yisrael ma'esav Midyanim." You should take revenge of the Midyanim because they caused you to do the avodah zarah of Baal Peor, and they caused you to do znus and caused me bas tzur, desecrated Hashem's name in public with the znus that she did with Zimri ben Tzali. Take revenge and destroy them. Now, we find in the Medrash says on this that Gadol HaMachtia Yosef and Hagai, it's worse the person that caused someone to do an Avera than the person that tried to kill him. The person that tried to kill him only kills him in this world, but the person that gets killed still has Olam Haba. But someone that causes someone to do an Avera, he loses this world, he causes the person to lose this world and the world to come. And that's why the Medrash says that Mitzrayim and Edom, they came out to war with the Yidden, they still are permitted to join the Jewish nation. But Ammon and Moav, that they try to cause the Yidden to do an Avera, they caused the Yidden to do an Avera, they caused 4,000 people to be killed because of the Averas they did. He took them from this world and from the world to come. They are not accepted into the Am Hashem. They can't become Yidden. That is what Chazal teach us. Now, the question is like this. Why did the Torah says you should take the Kama from Midian and not from Moav? Yes, Moav is not mutter to come and to join the Klal Yisrael's nation, the nation of Klal Yisrael. But the actual fight, the war, was against Midian, not against Moav. And it's a very, very Paldigazach. Because if you look at the Parsha and Parshas Pinchas, you'll see that it seems that the Midian only have a very small part in the whole story. Moav told the Zikne Midian, now they're going to come and cause us problems. And it said, Vayelch Zikne Moav, Zikne Midian, Ksamim B'yadam, they went to Bilam. That's the only two times that the Midian is actually mentioned. The main instigator over here was Moav. They were the ones that were scared of the Yidden. So why, when it comes to fight the war, we're only talking about Midian? And Rashi in Parshas Matois speaks about this, and he says, why the Midian, not Moav? Because Moav came into this problem, into this whole story, because they were scared Yidden are going to cause them problems. Midian didn't have any direct threat right now, so that's why. So we understand Moav a little bit why they entered this. Midian we don't understand, and we're going to take the cover from them. And the same thing with or another pshat. Rashi says, no, Moav, we have to have the Rus and Namo are supposed to come out of Moav. Moav is supposed to come out of Ammon and Moav. So we're not going to take Nekama because we want to leave them over. Midian didn't have anyone that's going to come out of them, so we'll destroy them. Just like we find when Moshe Rabbeinu killed Mitzri, he first looked, he looked and was misbeinin if anyone's going to come out of them. So too over here, Hashem saw that there are two tzedekis that are supposed to come out of them. So Hashem said, don't take Nekama, only from Midian. But that doesn't really answer our question, because this answers the question why Hashem didn't take Nekama from Moav. But in the Psukim, it seems as Midian is only a tuffle. It's not the main. He's not the main part of the story. He joined Moav, but he wasn't the main character in the story. So if he's not the main character in the story, why does it pass that there should be a Mechama against Midian? If you're not going to Mechama against Moav, so you shouldn't go to Mechama against Midian either. Just to go to Mechama and the person that's not the main character is it's schwer. Of Midian. It's hard to understand. But seemingly, so what was the role of Midian in the story? So it says, and they said there's a problem. So they said, okay, so that's after the pasuk said that they went to Bilam. Seemingly, Moav didn't know what to do. So Moav went to Midian and he asked them for Eitzah. So Midian gave the Eitzah, let's speak to Bilam. So what Midian did was give the Eitzah. Midian was the instigator and the perpetrator of what really happened L'maisa. Yes, Moav was the one that started, and started the whole story, and they were the ones that were busy, the main character being busy, taking care of L'maisa, being Machshel Klal Yisrael and going after Bilam. But Midian was the ones that gave the Eitzah. It means they were the source of the evil that happened. Moav was the one that actually did it. It was the one that started the story. But the evil that transpired in the story, going after Bilam and causing whatever caused, that was the idea of Midian. So on the practical surface, Moav was the instigator. But in the evil, what was going on, that was the Midian. They were the mind behind the whole idea. And that's why the Torah says that they sell the story, and afterward they went to Bilam. Why? Because through the Eitzah that Midian gave to them, they went to Bilam. And that's what's Mefurish in Rashi. Rashi over there says that when it's looked at Midian, Rashi says Mefurish that they were scared of the Yidden, the Moav. So Moav went to Midian to get an Eitzah. What should we do? They said, these people were brought up to you. Well, Moshe was brought up in Midian. So what should we do now? So he said, so Midian told Moav that their koyach is only bepeh. And so we should go fight them bepeh. We should fight them with the words. And there is mashma the Zohar and when Zohar seems to add also that not just Eitzes, they actually they were part, right? Because Tzir was from Midian. Just to add a point, it sounds like from the Psukim that Balak, even though it says he was Melech Moav, but it sounds like from the Psukim that Balak only became Melech Moav only after Vayalchi Zikna Midian al Moav al Midian. Means to say, it sounds like that it wasn't just the Eitzah, it means they actually helped him implement it. There was Cosby, there was Balak. Means Moav was the one that actually did it, but like Russia sends to Syria, gives them ideas how to make atomic bomb. Iran how to make atomic bombs, and he sends some people to help them. So Midian actually was mishtatef in the whole thing. Yes, they gave the Eitzah, and because they knew the Eitzah behind it, they knew how to do it L'maisa. So they sent people to do it L'maisa also. But the evil over here, like we said before, and that's why Balak became king after Moav came to Midian in order to implement the Eitzah. But again, the Eitzah was be'ikr being done in the practical world through Moav, but Midian became the king, Balak became the king, and Cosby Tzir actually enticed Zimri. So they were effectively heavily involved in the Eitzah and implementing the Eitzah, even though on the ground the main work was done through Moav. So what do we learn from here? What we learn from here is that that's what I think that's behind all this, is that why is there a Nakama for Midian? Because Midian was the mind behind the whole story. And that's a lot worse than the actual Aveira. When someone goes ahead and comes up with amazing ideas to do Aveiras, they are more they'll have to give a bigger din cheshbon than the people that actually do the Aveiras. Where do we find this? We find this actually over here also, because We find it in a few places. We find it over here because by Midian, not all the ladies were killed, only all the men were killed. Why were the men killed? They weren't part of the area. Maybe do a little bit, but it was mainly the Benois Midian. And the answer to the is because they let it happen. It came from them. They let the woman do it. So all the women were killed because the men are the powerhouse of every community, and they implemented it. So when we're killing the community, the men are the main part. Even though the ladies were the ones that did it, but the men were the ones that got the ladies to do it. And where we find more like this, we find this by Chava and the Nachash by Adam Rishon. It says that the Eibishter asked Adam Rishon, why were you chayte? So he said because of Chava. He asked Chava, why were you chayte? So he said because of the Nachash. Hashem didn't ask the Nachash, why were you chayte? So the Chazal say that we don't, someone that's a mason, someone that causes other people to have errors, we don't let him be Mataris himself. He really had a Teretz. The Nachash had a Teretz. If Hashem told you, and I told you, who are you supposed to listen to? Why you listen to me? Listen to Hashem. But Hashem didn't give him a chance to answer. Why? Because he was the one that caused the Avera. The question is, Chava caused Adam Rishon to do Avera. So why didn't he? Why did Hashem give Chava a right to answer? And the teretz is this nakuda that Nachash was the one that created this Eitzah. He came up with this Ra. That he was the source of this evil. Yes, Chava implemented it, but it's not as bad as the one that actually came up with a bad idea. You know, sometimes in class, in schools, there's those kids that do, they always tag along and do the wrong things. And behind the scenes, there's actually a guy who always comes up with the bad ideas. He knows the right guy to tell, and he gets him to do it, and he stays clean. Really, that kid who comes up with the ideas is more evil than the kids that do the evil itself. It's the same thing the opposite way. When someone has a good eitzah, you have people, zikna, eda, people that are sitting and giving eitzahs, and they actually help people to give, they're actually on the field, they're not actually doing anything. But in Hashem's eyes, the person that gives the eitzah, he's the one that, he is the one that gets the main schar. Because it's all from the creation of the idea that the good comes down to the world. Yeah, your people implement it, that's very nice. So, have we nikmas Hashem b'Midyan, take the Nekama from Midyan, why? And not Moav? Because really Midyan was the evil over here, not Moav. Moav was scared and they needed to do something, they didn't know what to do, they came to Midyan, and Midyan actually thought of a great idea, and Moav implemented it. But it was only because of Midyan's idea that this evil was able to transpire. They created this idea, and they were in Hashem's eyes, they are the worst of the evil over here. And that's why, even though they didn't take the Kama from Moav, they took the Kama from Midyan. And it's possible, I'm wondering, it's possible that if Moav really would be considered the main of the evil, Hashem wouldn't have let them lived. But it's only because the main evil over here was Midyan that Hashem let Moav, came up with a couple of cheshbonos of Moav to stay alive. And we find this in a good way by everyone knows, by Mamre, by Avram Avinu did Milah, and Hashem showed himself in Mamre's land. He showed himself to Avram Avinu. And Chazal say, why did Hashem show himself in Mamre's land? Because I'm not going to give the eitzah of Milah to Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu asked Eshkol, honored Eshkol, if she should do the Milah, and they said no. Mamre said, trust Hashem. You could trust him. He saved you until now. Trust him and do the Milah. So Hashem said, I'll show I'll be Mashem Ashchina in Mamre's land. So the Maral asks, I don't understand. Avram Avinu was a whole time in Mamre's land. So why? So what does it mean Hashem showed himself in Mamre's land? He was Avram Avinu was there before Mamre gave the Eitzah. So if Hashem wanted to show himself to Avraham Avinu, he would have anyways shown himself in Mamre's land, even if he didn't give the Eitzah, because that's where Avraham Avinu was, even before the whole story. So where do we see that from Hashem showing himself in Mamre's land, that was because he gave the Eitzah? And the Maral says that because it says that V'yal ma'olav Elokim, that the others were Makavel Shchina, that Hashem was on Avraham Avinu, he was Masher Shchinasai on Avraham Avinu, and he went up. That's one of the psukim, and the others had a Makavel. So really, Zok the Maral, that Hashem didn't have to be Masher his Shchina in the chelik of Mamre. He could be Masher Shchina on Avraham Avinu. Or how was Hashem Masher his Shechina on Mamre? Because of that story he gave the Eitzah. What you see over here is that Mamre was Zeicha to become Makav Shechina. What does it mean? What's the meaning that Hashem showed himself in Mamre's Chelik? What did Chazal say? It's Chus of the Mila, Eitzah of Mila, Hashem showed himself in the Chelik of Mamre. What's so special about that? Okay, he showed himself in Mamre's Chelik. What does Mamre have? And the Theret says that Mamre became a Makav Shechina. Hashem was just like Hashem was, Avraham Avinu was a Makav Shechina, so too Mamre was a Makav Shechina. And I was thinking now, because I think that So what we see over here, that because he gave Eitzah to Avraham Avinu for the Milah, he was Zoiche to become a Makav Shechina just like Avraham Avinu is. In the schar of giving an Eitzah, didn't implement it, didn't do anything, that he became like Avraham Avinu. To that sense, that he became a Makav Shechina. And when it comes to good, you get the schar of like the person who you helped. And the same thing when it comes to evil, when it comes to znus, that you give an Eitzah for znus, you get punished like the people that did znus themselves. Actually, even more than them, more than Moav. And when you get us, when someone sees someone that needs help for Taras Mishpacha, and they're struggling with something, and you offer them a Sfarim, or someone that's inspirational to listen to, or someone madrich to go to that can help them and be mechazik themselves in Hilchos Nida, you should know you'll be getting all the schar of this woman that Shlomo does. You mekarv someone to do Taras Mishpacha. You're going to get schar more than her, more than the person that actually does the mitzvah, more than the person that actually does the hepech. If you say, you know what, you have to, a chok is, nah. Can you make just a touch or just a throw? Why are you so call up so-and-so, Rabbi so-and-so. He's not your Rav, but, don't be so fanatic. You call someone to be making halachas, you'll get all the averis. So this is a major limit for us. B'negei znus, b'negei kedusha, b'negei Eitzah Tzevis, b'negei Taras Mishpacha, to even chazak other people and give them other eitzahs. Not always could we even help them just by. Bilam was the one that did Kilolo. Bilam was the one that gave Moav the eitzah, but Midian told them to go to Bilam, and they caused all the problems. They were nenash. So if we just give them an address, send them to Ura, send them to Sameach and to Eshatorah, send them to the Rebbetzin, so the Rav, or some influential person, and they'll get chizik, will get schar in everything they do. Hashem help us to be chazak, Hilchos Nida, and all mitzvahs HaTorah, and Shvi Zeichet Olam Haza and Olam Haba.